let's recap that slowly. Okay, first session, we go on a monthly, and what did we say to do here?
See the most recent 5 to 10 candles and.
Okay, so let's recap that. Our first session was, well, actually, all of these is what analysis, right?
Right.
And what is that all about?
Finding the best deals, great deals.
Finding them, right?
Right.
Finding them, okay? But in order to find them, you have to have proper analysis. So what we did in our first session was how to analyze a chart, and the first steps is obviously the monthly, and we look at the most recent impulsive move, or we can say 5 to 10 candles, okay, which is this, and from the low to the high, this is where it was pushed, and then it came down here, and then, okay, but this is the most recent move up, okay, and then we can take this thing, and we have 50 or 61 or whatever this whole thing. We're just going to do the 50 more commonly hit one. And what does that tell us so far? So we get on the monthly, and this is the situation. We have a move up, and this is the 50% retracement of this move, which is actually right there. Okay, and 133, 136, and maybe here 140. This is a 700 pip move from here, right?
Right.
So it seems that it had a healthy retracement, and who knows where now, okay? But tell me, what does all this tell us on the monthly? We're trying to find good deals. How does this help me?
It tells us the directional bias, whether we have to go to.
Well, how do we know directional bias?
Strong impulsive move.
Where? Which direction?
Like in this.
Up or down?
According to this chart, up.
Up, okay.
Yeah.
And what does that mean if there's an impulsive move up, the most recent 5 10 candles?
It means there are more buyers than sellers.
No, it doesn't. Remember, who cares, buyers or sellers? What if there's one buyer buying 1 million lots, man, from 1 million sellers? There's more sellers, but it went up. So remember, we don't care about buy or sell. It's about buy volume and sell volume. Okay, it's a volume that buyer seller is transacting. That's all that matters. Okay, but an upwards impulsive move, we're just bullish for our monthly, like you said, directional bias. And now, how does that help me find deals? Listen, I'm here to make money, my friend. How does this help me make money?
So now we have to take HPT trades.
Well, it would be nice, but you know, there's also other trade. You can buy and you can sell. Imagine if you saw this and were bullish, and 142 to 132, it drops 1,000 pips, and you can't sell because, oh, it's LPT, we're bullish. Remember, we buy and we sell, okay? But if we're bullish, what does it mean about our buys or our sells?
So the probability of buys is greater than probability of.
Probability of what?
HPT is greater than.
Yeah, but the probability of what happening? the probability of it being a winner.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the summary of bullishness.
Mm-hmm.
Buy. Okay, and we can sell. Okay, but buys are HPT, sells LPT in this case. What else did we learn in our first session?
We learned about
When would we go bearish?
bearish. Bearish at the sell zone.
Which sell zone?
So depending on the pair that we are analyzing,
We're on the pound yen, my friend. It's right here in front of us. That's the pair.
pair as in like macro versus micro pair. We will
What do you mean macro micro pair? You
like
mean time frame couple?
yeah, couple. Sorry, yes.
Okay, the time frame couple.
Yep.
Forget that right now. I'm talking about when would we go bearish? Who cares about the time frame macro micro? We don't do any of that stuff to determine bearish or bullish. Some people say, oh, weekly is bearish or daily or the 4 hour. We don't do any bullish bearish on anything except the monthly. You don't even use these words, bullish bearish, except on the monthly. Okay, let's get back to the question. When would we go bearish? And sells are HPT and the buys are LPT.
Oh, okay. When the price goes beyond 51 to 60%.
Yes. So this is when we'll be thinking about it. And this is when we'll confirm it.
Got it.
Okay. Are you going to wait until it comes here to sell? I say, okay, now we're bearish. Now I can sell. Are you going to be doing that?
No.
No, you can have a sell, which is, it could be an LPT. But then what does it become when it goes down here?
HPT.
Exactly. Okay. So if this happens, you would go bearish. Okay. And sometimes you'll have a situation potentially reversing. But let's do something like this. Okay. What's the most recent impulsive move?
Most recent.
Well, use it, draw an arrow and draw it. Now, a bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Now, we're bearish, okay? But in these cases where if you look to the left from where where the low is, from the area, you saw this. And from this area, you saw that, which you can say, wouldn't you say some buy clicking happened here?
Yes.
Okay. And we're back here. So would you be 100% bearish or would you be, well, we're currently bearish, but we may be reversing.
We may be reversing.
Exactly. And this is a stage where it's hard to say HPT buy or HPT sell. Okay. But if we see the next candle,
Maybe the one to the left. The middle.
well, it's actually better. We can see how it forms. Man, what are we doing on the daily? So we have what kind of candle is this?
Yeah, this is bullish pin bar.
Bullish pin bar. We don't care about the color of it. Okay, it's not that it's red, it's bearish. Okay, it's about the wick.
Mm.
Some strong rejection here. Now, is this reaching?
Not
How many lows did it break?
just one.
Just the previous one. Okay, so not too strong to say, oh, it's reaching, it's going to get filled. Okay, but that's a bullish pin bar, and I wouldn't say it's reaching. Okay, and then, well, before that, what are you now thinking in terms of your bias?
Maybe reversing.
This is the most sensitive time right there. It may be only a month or two where you're really not sure. Okay, but you see this bullish pin bar and then that. So now what do you think in terms of bias?
The bias seems like reversing, like now it's bullish.
Okay, and then you saw this. What is that called?
Bearish pin bar.
Bearish pin bar, but what do you think about this one rejecting or reaching? Let's just look at the previous lows. Highs. How many previous highs did it break?
3.
3. This is pretty strong, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
All right, 1, 2 maybe, but 3. And once, this is 3 monthly highs that are just got taken out. And it's kind of in the middle of a impulsive move up. It's not at an edge, but it's right there in the middle of it. Okay, so we could say it's reaching. You could say that it's reaching because it's in the middle and it broke multiple, not one, okay, but multiple previous highs, okay? And let's say the next candle. What do you call this?
I'm not good at like candles, but I think it's engulfed.
Well, you don't have to be good at candle. Well, you do actually, but you get good at understanding what's going on.
All the selling.
This is a bearish signal, right? Well, I think it's reaching to me, but isn't this a bearish
Engulf.
signal? And what happened after the bearish signal?
The price should go down?
Well, forget should. We saw what happened in reality.
Okay, this one. Okay, got it. Okay.
What happened after this bearish signal?
A strong bullish candle, like an engulfing.
Exactly. So this whole thing is now a bullish signal because of a bearish pin bar. Like you said, it does whatever it wants, but it should drop because they're bearish. But then it gets engulfed and the wick gets filled. This is a classic bullish signal. Okay. Now what's going on with your bias?
Bullish.
I would actually be bullish from here. Okay, and then we can see we had the retracement, and here we are. Okay, so, and this was the last impulsive move, and now we're trading this. So you always have to be up to date on the monthly. And we just passed a potential reversing. Okay, so we were in a bearish, and then we saw how maybe in this area we could be potentially reversing. We're bearish, okay, but then maybe we're potentially reversing, and then this bullish pin bar, and then a bearish pin bar, but I think it was reaching, and the wick gets filled. That's a bullish signal. So we went from potentially reversing to bullish. We went from bearish to potentially reversing to bullish. Okay, so now you understand the three phases of that monthly. First step number one, and all of this is just to see what's more likely to be a winner, a buy order or a sell order. That's the whole point of this monthly. It's just to align ourselves with the direction of bias. Is it likely to go up or down? This is a probability game in the end. Okay, but do you have any questions on this? The monthly, we discussed the three phases. There shouldn't be any confusion about any of this now.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, it might be a little tricky. We're potentially reversing, but how do we know, is it reversing or not? Well, bullish pin bar, and then a reaching candle that gets engulfed. All of this is bullish. Okay, so we shouldn't be like, is it reversing? Yes, it is actually. Okay,